everyone, this is Miss Cecilia from the garden at PS216, and I wanted to invite you to participate in an activity with me today. So this activity is called a food memory activity, and I'm going to tell you a food memory, and then I invite all of you to share your own food memories with me and with everyone else who's participating online. And for our food memory, we are going to be sharing a story about a food that's really important to us. Maybe it's a food that's important to your culture, to your family. Maybe it's a food that you eat on a certain holiday or a certain time of year. And when we are telling our food memory story, we're going to be using our five senses and describing our five senses. So when you are telling your food memory story, I want you to think about the things that you saw or the things that you see during that memory, the things you hear, the things that you smell, the things you touch, and then, of course, how it tastes. So I'm going to tell you a food memory. And this is a food memory from when I was a little girl, when I was in elementary school, like you. And this is a story about my grandmother's plátanos. So my grandmother was born in Cuba, and she came here when she was an adult. My dad came here when he was a kid to the United States. And my grandmother always would make a very special treat for us when we would come to visit her in her house. So what I remember seeing is when we would go to her apartment, she lived on the second floor, so we would go walk up the stairs into her apartment. And I would play in the living room with my cousin, and there was a big painting of a woman wearing a white outfit, white clothes. And I remember seeing that painting when we were at her house and playing in the living room. I would remember hearing the sound of the plantains frying. Because what she would do is she would cut them up, and you could hear her cutting them up, and then she would fry them. She would fry them so you could hear the oil sizzling in the pan, and then she would take them out and put them on a brown paper bag and kind of smush them flat so they would be like a flat circle of a plantain, and then you would fry them again just to get them like really crispy. So I will remember the sound of the oil sizzling in the pan and the sound of her chopping. And the smell that I would remember the most was the smell of the oil frying and the plantains frying in the oil. And then when it was time to eat, she would call us in and she would have all the plantains out on a plate. And then she would sprinkle them with some salt and with some garlic. And when you picked them up, what you would feel is you would feel that they were kind of crispy on the outside, but the inside was still kind of soft. And then you would take a bite of the plantains, and they would be garlicky, so there was like a little bit of a spicy flavor, but then they were also sweet because a plantain, I should have said this before, a plantain is like kind of like a banana, but a little bit different. So it would have kind of like a sweet flavor, but then it would also have kind of that garlicky flavor. So that's what I would taste. And that is a very special memory to me because I always think of my grandmother and how she's always taken care of me and always looked out for me. And one of the ways that we've always connected is about food and culture. So now it's your turn. So what I would like for you to do is you can either make a video of yourself telling a food memory story, or you can just write about your food memory. Or you can even, if you have the chance, you could even draw a picture of your food memory and then maybe take a picture and then you could post it. So I would love to hear about an important food memory you have. Maybe, again, it's something that you do one time a year or happened once. Maybe it's something that's like a tradition. And I would love to hear about how it looks and smells and sounds and feels and tastes in your food memory. And I'm excited that we get to share this together, even though we're far apart. We're still close in our hearts. So thank you for sharing in advance, and I look forward to hearing all about your food memories. Bye!